Wall Street stocks gained on Tuesday as improving economic data bolstered investor beliefs that a stimulus-backed rebound for the U.S. economy was on the horizon. The S&P 500 surged nearly 20% for April through the June quarter. The Dow jumped more than 17.5%, and the Nasdaq outperformed with a greater than 30% gain for the second quarter. The three major indices also closed out June in the green for a third straight month of gains. The Nasdaq rose 6% in June, followed by the S&P 500 with a 2% gain. The Nasdaq rose 1.7% for the month. On the data front, the Consumer Board's Consumer Confidence Index rose to 98.1 in June, rebounding from May's reading of 85.9 in the index's largest jump since 2011. Still, the result was down sharply from its average reading of about 126 in 2019. Meanwhile, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell reiterated in comments on Tuesday that the path of the economy is highly uncertain. Asian stocks were mixed on Wednesday as investors assessed the prospects of economic recovery from the coronavirus pandemic. On the positive side, a fresh boost to sentiment came from Chinese factory activity gathering steam in June, with the Caixin Market Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index rising to 51.2 compared with expectations for 50.5. Meanwhile, the U.S. recorded 47,000 infections on Thursday, its biggest single-day spike since the pandemic began, which capped optimism in the markets. As such, the MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan rose 0.4%. Japan's Nikkei slipped 0.75%, South Korea's Kospi closed just 0.07% lower, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index was up 0.5%, while China's Shanghai Composite gained 1.38% amid upbeat economic data. In Europe, stocks were mostly under pressure during the session but managed to make minor gains on Wednesday following positive news about a U.S. coronavirus pandemic vaccine trial, as Pfizer released positive results from its closely watched human trial of a COVID-19 vaccine. As for data, Germany's manufacturing contraction eased in June, with its final IHS Markit PMI coming in at 45.2, exceeding a flash estimate of 44.6 and up from 36.6 in May. Germany's jobless total rose by 69,000 in June, slowing from 237,000 recorded in May. In the U.S., stocks closed mixed on Wednesday as investors weighed COVID-19 vaccine progress against a spike in national virus cases. Meanwhile, the June ADP employment report showed that the U.S. companies added 2.37 million jobs, less than economists expected. It also revised May's loss of 2.76 million to a 3.07 million gain. As a reminder, the June non-farm payrolls report from the government is set to be released on Thursday. The Institute for Supply Management said that its index of national factory activity jumped to a reading of 52.6 last month from the 43.1 in May, ending 3 straight months of contraction or readings below 50. According to minutes from the Federal Open Market Committee meeting held on June 9th and 10th, there was a growing consensus within the central bank that the Fed should further clarify its monetary policy intentions, though no firm timeline was given for such a move. As a result, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.3%, snapping a 2-day winning streak. The S&P 500 added 0.5%, and the Nasdaq Composite rose 1%, closing at a record 10,154.63. Meanwhile, the euro-US dollar finished marginally higher on Wednesday as the euro bounced from local lows below 1.12 to close around 1.1250. The common currency derived support from upbeat economic updates, coupled with a weaker dollar in the second half of the day. Elsewhere, oil prices finished nearly unchanged on Wednesday, struggling for direction amid mixed sentiment in the global financial markets. Brent crude has settled marginally below the $42 handle, a break above which is needed for a more robust recovery. As for the data, the EIA report showed that crude oil inventories fell by 7.2 million barrels in the week to 533.5 million barrels, compared with expectations for a 710,000 barrel drop. U.S. gasoline stocks rose by 1.2 million barrels, while distillate stockpiles fell by 593,000 barrels. In general, traders barely reacted to the release that came worse than the estimate from the API. That is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please click subscribe to always be in touch with the latest market news.